Alright, howdy YouTube. I just made a very long and informative, I believe, video on some basic care and maintenance issues for katanas. I finished wrapping it up, and unfortunately I use my camera on my phone. I don't have another way to record these. And what happened was about halfway through, my camera ran out of memory. My phone just shut off the recording. So instead, what I'm going to do is a series of short, relatively for me, short videos on maintenance tips and tricks for your katana. I would recommend coming up with a regular regimen, and I'm just going to release these a little bit at a time. The first one I think we're going to talk about is mekugi, the little wooden pegs right here, and on this katana right here. These are bamboo, usually, pegs, and they will cost you about $7 to $9 to replace if you have to order them. If you go down to your local Chinese store, Walmart, Price Chopper, whatever your local thing is, you can actually order chopsticks, which are made of bamboo. They're made of the exact same stuff that these pegs are made out of. And you can always have some mekugi spares. The issue that you're going to find is that not all chopsticks are created equal. This one is extremely small. This one, actually, these two are the same kind. Where are those? This one, as you can see, is a little bigger. Let me if you look at them side by side, they don't look too much bigger, and there really isn't much difference between them. But I've already cut this one off, but it's going to look a little ugly. You can see, let me get this to focus. There you go. You can see that there is actually a size difference. So this little one is obviously too small. This one is closer. You could probably use it as a temporary fix, but the one to look for this particular blade is going to be these square ones with the round, whoops, there we go, round tip. Now that, you can see, now this particular one I'm holding is plastic, but it's damn near the perfect size, which means if it's a little big, you can just sand it down or scrape it with a knife. And that one's plastic. They do come in bamboo. And these will cost you about $3 for, I don't know, 4 to 6 pair, depending on where you buy them. I buy these things literally by the hundred because I eat a lot of Chinese and Japanese food at home. This is going to bring me to one more thing to do with chopsticks and your sword, which is actually removing your mekugi. If you were to take a chopstick and cut it down, this is the business end of a chopstick. When you're pushing these, they make a brass tool to do this with, and you know that works fine, I guess, but it has a very kind of a pointy handle, and that tends to chip away at the inside of your bamboo. Well, if you take something roughly the same size, like a chopstick, this one's not cut, so I'm going to use it as an illustration, I guess. That's a better cut. Alright, so if you're pushing on your pin with something roughly the same size, then it's not going to dig holes into your pin. Now let me show you how that works if I can. This is going to take some camera trickery. Alright, now, that's not going to work very well. What you're going to want to do is identify which way to come out. Now in this particular one, the wrap hides the peg, and that's actually, it comes out that way. So I'm going to flip the blade over and put this right here. Give it a couple taps with a regular hammer, if I can get the damn thing to work right. I just realized what's wrong. That's the long one. I made a tool. Let's use the tool. I'm going to do this so I can have the room, and you can see it's popping out the other side. Move that out of the way. And bada bing, baby. Now, like, remember what I said, this can work through. And I say that's too small. This one is just a little bit small at the end, but once I get in about that far, and these things are going to taper up, once I get in about that far, it's about the right size. So, on this particular katana, I know that this particular kind of chopstick can be used in a pinch to make a pin. Now, the only thing I would recommend, now this pin came out in this direction, okay? So it came out that way. What I would recommend is when you replace your pin, you replace it the same direction you took it out of. And if your katana is together correctly, you should be able to just push that in. Now if you can't, now here it goes in right to the end and then it gets a little tough. That's why you have a rubber mallet, because you don't want really to mess that up. I feel that poking out the side just about right. So there you go, tip 1, replacing your mekugi. One last tip, aside from put the pin out the same direction, or put the pin back in the same direction you took it out of, is to, if you replace these, you can actually affect that a little bit by making a slightly oversized pin. I like to know what side on each one, so for me, when I hold the weapon this way, palm side of my forward hand is the direction that it goes in on both pins. Now, not all katanas are made that way. Some of them you'll have one's easier to go in this way, one's easier to come in that way. But once you start doing this, you'll eventually wear the shape of this bamboo pin into the exact right shape you want it to go in one way or the other. Now, another thing that may cause an issue with that is that sometimes they will use a bigger hole on one side than on the other, and there's really nothing you can do about that. Unless you want to hollow out those holes, which I don't ever recommend. Mostly because it's the sort of thing that once you do it, you can't undo. So in a situation like that, then just learn to know, and once you take a katana apart 2 or 3 times, it will be ingrained in your memory, oh wait, I took it out the wrong way. You may even get so far as, you know, you're working on your katana, la 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 la, do 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 do, oh do do boo boo, oh here ba ba ba, oh wait, that's not right, and then you can go back, because once it's ingrained in your memory, then you're good to go. Let's see how easy that just comes out. It wants to pop right out. And if you go too far, you can punch it right back. Alright, there we go. Part 1 of things to do with your katana. And I'm going to make a couple more of these and release them, I don't know, every couple of days for the next week or so. Alright, so there we go. Thank you.